I'm waiting for it, Phil.
You'll never know when it's going to come.
You mean the penis?
You done fucked up your own intro. Good job.
So, last time,
Penis.
that. And the party made a pretty abrupt change of scenery, if you want to call it that. After fighting off what the disembodied voice that you later learned to be Caius described as a worm caller who attempted to drag one of you back through a portal to some hellish place, you all willingly jumped in after a certain dragonborn paladin challenged Caius, who was once the most powerful necromancer to ever live in the world of Astian, to a one-on-one battle. Some of you were able to hop in the portal that took him before it closed, and others ended up going through one of the two that still lay open on the floor of the throne room where you fought the Wormcaller. Those of you who made it through to see Trogdor and his showdown with the hovering skull seemingly representing Caius, well, you watched as your dragonborn friend put up a valiant fight, but eventually was incapacitated and seemingly dissolved and somehow incorporated into Caius's being. As all the onlookers charged in to try and finish what Trogdor had started, you did seem to destroy this hovering skull, seeing the thing shatter and crumble down to the ground as a small blue flame floated up out of its mouth and then seemed to flicker and disappear. The other two of you who did not make it through the portal to join Trogdor found yourselves in the open expanse of some barren, long dead land amidst ruins and blackened dead trees. And
bad things.
Yeah, bad things. You decided to follow a devourer for a little bit, and then when it turned, seemingly having gathered it was being followed, you made a quick maneuver to distract it and decided to advance in the opposite direction.
Yep. More strategic.
Yes.
We enforced heavy use of strategy.
Indeed. After that, you began journeying through this blackened forest, avoiding a number of other denizens of whatever this place is, and moving toward the crook of a mountain range, often the distance. And I think that's where we pick things up this time. But before we get into the aftermath of everything that happened last time, I would like one person from each of the two groups that went through the portal to roll a d20.
Do you want to roll or do you want me to? Toga!
I already did it.
Oh, Lord.
Hey! That's good, I think.
Okay. I would also
Wouldn't
like
count on
Brown to roll a d20. There you go. Okay.
Hoping for another save.
What?
That would have been wonderful.
Okay. So, I think then we'll pick this up with a character that we haven't yet seen in this story. So, somewhere off in the woods, as the gray sky is churning with clouds above and the wind is howling through these dead lands, we sort of zoom in from this bird's eye view down to a place between a couple of trees and see a figure that very much fits in with the surroundings. Obscured mostly by shadow, with a hood drawn up over his head. A tailed figure skulks through the woods toward a tower that, to say the least, looks pretty out of place given the surroundings. The little bit of dull gray light that seems to come from nowhere, just somewhere vaguely up above, illuminates this 30-foot tall structure jutting up from the forest. It seems to be made of large stone bricks, and it has a strange blackish green shimmer to it. Certainly much better maintained than any of the architecture that we've seen in this area so far. Standing out front near the single door to the structure, there are a pair of what are obviously zombies, large chunks missing from their skin, one of them missing an eye, the other with a hole in its cheek large enough to see the sides of its molars. The door behind them, closed, probably locked. And we watch as the hooded figure creeps up to the tree line of the small clearing in which this tower is located. So, Chance, what are you doing?
How far is the tower away from the tree line?
Let's call it 40 feet.
Anything special looking about these zombies?
Make a perception check. Or, do other stuff. Okay. Doesn't seem like it. They seem long dead. Perhaps they've been in this state for quite some time. But beyond that, nothing really extraordinary about them.
Alright, I want to... Can I roll a stealth check and try and sneak up on them?
Yeah, with advantage. Okay. And so describe your positioning here, because these two are standing one on either side of a short staircase that kind of leads up to the door.
How high is
Both
the
of them are facing out from the tower. Yeah.
How high is the staircase?
Probably not more than 4 or 5 feet.
Alright, I want to climb from the side.
Okay, so creep around behind the zombies as they're just standing there, and try and ease your way up onto the stone stairs.
Yeah.
Okay. You do so with no problem. Then what?
I want to. How far apart exactly are the zombies? Like 5 feet?
So in game terms, there's like one space between the two of them.
Okay. I want to try and sneak up to the closest one to me and try and get a sneak attack on it with a dagger.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attack with advantage because it doesn't know you're there. Okay. Would you like to use some sneak attack?
Yeah, I don't want to use the assassinate feature as well, where it's auto crit for being
Nice.
surprised.
Okay. Gotcha. So I need to make a save. All right. So yeah, you sneak up behind this thing and slowly draw your dagger and just jam it into like the side of the thing, like just drawing the blade all the way down the thing's torso as what's left of its organs comes spilling out.
Can I try and catch it so its body doesn't make a loud thump?
Well, it does the work for you by not going down.
Oh.
And so it turns around slowly, kind of groaning, and there's a sickly bubbling sound now coming from somewhere in its chest cavity. And I guess we're going to roll some initiative. So let me get you on a map here.
I rolled so poorly with that sneak attack.
It wasn't that. It was that it rolled a nat 20 on its con save.
Does it still get that after crit?
I believe so. Let me double check. Oh, hey, good call. So, yeah, it just goes down.
Oh.
So yes, now if you'd like to make a dex save, try and catch it. Yeah, you do so, and slowly set the thing down.
Did the other one notice me?
I'm gonna say no. It's not a very perceptive creature.
Alright, are we in initiative?
Not yet. There's nothing that's really initiated it, so.
Because I wanted to wait until like my next turn to get sneak attack
Yeah,
damage
I mean,
again.
you can do that.
Alright, then I guess I'll attack that one.
Okay, with advantage. Auto crit. Sneak attack. Okay, and so yeah, it goes down. You just neatly carve it up, and I imagine kind of gently try to set it down again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I roll for that?
Sure. Yeah, no worries. All right. So, let's jump to Bungdo and Togar.
Alright.
So the two of you have been riding generally speaking, through the woods toward the crook of this mountain range for a while. It's hard to really tell, as there's not a sun per se to track in this place. You've managed to avoid the Devourer's attention and skirt around what looked like a small mob of probably gnome-sized creatures that look like bloated corpses with like flesh slawing off of them. And as you're journeying through the woods, you come to a clearing that provides a little bit more of a view in the direction that you're traveling. And off, probably a quarter mile or so, you can now make out a tall stone structure jutting up out of the woods.
About 30 meters high.
About 30 feet high. Yeah. Seemingly made of stone, but with a strange greenish gleam to it.
Good.
How long have we been traveling?
Like I said, you've been traveling for a while. It's hard to say exactly, but I mean, you haven't had to take a long rest. I guess we'll establish
Is
that.
it longer or shorter than an hour?
Probably longer than an hour.
Okay, so I would like to. Can I, while riding Bungdo the bear, ritualistically cast something?
Maybe. What are you casting?
The spell that I picked up. Find familiar.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's feasible.
I also would like to summon a raven.
Okay. To clarify some stuff,
Yes.
do you have a brass brazier, or do you have an arcane focus?
Right. Wait, I thought a ritual spell you only needed the components. You didn't need the anything.
Okay. Well, do you have 10 GP worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs that must be consumed?
I guess not.
Okay.
Alright.
So good try, but
Good
yeah.
fight, kid. You
Alright.
could, massage Bungdo, though.
it's always an option.
Sure, let's do that.
Massaging the bear, as it were.
Yes!
I shall do that then.
Okay.
By the way,
So,
what
yeah.
level are we now?
9.
Key. And it's just a hit die to do the health roll.
Yeah, hit die plus your con mod, which it should include in there. But
Con mod?
Yeah.
Sweet.
yeah, it looks like it included it. So
You're getting heat.
okay. So I think unless you guys want to change your course, we just see you continuing on through the woods toward this kind of ominous-looking tower in the woods.
Sure.
Okay. Maya, as the only PC in your group who is currently here to play, you are left standing in the cavern where you just watched Trogdor be disintegrated and sort of flow out of his armor in this ashy cloud that was then absorbed by Caius. Then watch the skull scatter on the floor in front of you and the blue flame erupt out of it. and you're left with a pile of bone shards, a heavy set of armor crafted by Zorn in the extraplanar city of Sigil, and, well, the contents of everything that Trogdor was carrying.
Like, did the blue flame go somewhere, or did the blue flame just, like, erupt, and is it burning? Did it die out?
It floated up into the air at about eye level, and there was a kind of poofing sound as it just disappeared.
Great. I feel like he might still be alive then. Well, what is happening? I guess I'll ask my absentee party members to, I guess, carry his belongings, because I don't have any way of carrying them.
Okay.
And
Does that mean you're at your capacity, or you don't have something to put them in?
I am really close to my capacity.
Okay. Well, Trogdor has almost 250 pounds worth of stuff on him. Let's see what everybody else has to work with. I imagine Norganoth could carry a good bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What is it, times 15? Here's my calculator.
In dragon form, Norganoth should be able to carry all of it.
Yeah, I
Well,
can
yeah.
take 6.34 pounds of
Okay, for easy housekeeping here, we'll say that Norganoth, well, upon finishing his breath attack and scattering the skull, he lets out a loud, echoing, anguished roar that seems to go on for an unnaturally long time, reverberating around the cavern. And once it finally dies off, he shrinks back down to his dragonborn form and proceeds to pack up all of Trogdor's belongings, save for probably the barrels and such that he might have had on him.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, he just takes everything and loads himself down. He's pretty well loaded up here, but he says that he should be able to manage.
Okay. I ask, since I am not an expert on magic, I'm going to ask, him and Lilith, what that blue flame was, and is it possible Caius is still alive because of it?
Alright, let's see. I suppose I'll have them make either Arcana or Religion checks, whatever they're better at.
I'm proficient in religion. Can I make a religion check?
Sure. Okay. So I don't think you or Lilith have much of an idea of what it could mean, having not really dealt with something specifically of this nature before. You've fought undead, but nothing of this caliber. I think as he finishes slinging the last of Trogdor's belongings over his shoulder, Norganoth says, I've not personally dealt with anything like this before, but I have heard the tales of many a paladin and adventurer who made their way to an afterlife with the Platinum Dragon. And, well, this lacks a certain finality that I've come to expect from those stories. And so I think, though we can't be sure, best to assume that this Caius is still out there somewhere.
He might be even more powerful now.
If he absorbed any sort of power from Trogdor, well, that would stand to reason.
Wonderful. Okay. Do you have any idea about how we might find the rest of our group?
He says, I believe the first course of action would be to find our way out of this cavern. It's difficult to say where we are or where the others may have ended up. But we can't do much if we can't see more than a few feet in front of our own faces, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And, let's
Wow.
see.
Morganoth can't see.
I mean, he can, but still, it's better to be able to survey your surroundings, I think is what he's saying.
Oh,
Like, they're still in a claustrophobic cavern.
yeah.
I'll get out, my torch. My
I think at this point, Lilith just kind of waves her hands, and you see a few floating globes of light just appear and sort of circle around the group, providing a little bit more light so that the less visually astute among you, Reed, Maya, aren't tripping over themselves.
Okay.
And looking around, I think you can only see one possible exit from this place. At the far end, beyond where the fight between Trogdor and Caius had happened, there is a partially collapsed natural corridor that seems to kind of wind in an upward direction. So, assuming you would like to go through there.
Yeah.
You do so. And after probably 10-15 minutes of solemnly trekking through this cavern, You see in front of you a large arching exit, basically. Looking out, you can see a bit more light. Certainly not the ample sunlight that you're used to seeing back home, but enough to kind of illuminate the area. And as you make your way to this this kind of arching exit, you see unfolding in front of you this sprawling, dried out dead forest. In the distance, you can see a tower jutting up, and beyond that, a few more ruins just outside the boundaries of the woods. And as you're looking around, I don't think you see any of your party at this point. But I think Norganoth walks up beside you and says, "I can expedite things."
Well done. Please
Assuming
do.
you have no qualms about flying.
Nope.
All right.
I turn towards the wolf. I hope she doesn't.
Well, I don't think she does. Unless she specifically said something on her character sheet, I'm going to assume she doesn't.
Been a bird and flown around.
It's true. Yeah, I don't see any reason why she'd have an issue with it. So, Norganoth sets down the massive collection of Trogdor's belongings, and kind of walks off as though to give you some distance before once again expanding up into this massive silver dragon form that is, well, his natural form. And sort of scooping most of the pile of stuff up, sort of holding it in his mouth. Before doing so, he says to you in this low, rumbling voice, "Climb on."
Okay, I climb up.
Okay. Lilith does the same, and you're off, flying over the forest. Just generally away from the mountain, surveying all of the surroundings in an effort to find something familiar or that might suggest some way of getting home. Now we're going to pick it back up with Chance. Outside this tower, at the foot of the steps, you now have two re-killed zombies lying on the ground, and, well, your next course of action. What are you doing?
I'd like to check this door for traps.
Okay. Let's see. Make a perception check. Okay. There do not seem to be any traps.
I want to... could I stealth and gingerly open the door?
Sure, make a stealth check with advantage. Okay. And yeah, you walk up and go to open the door, and I think you go to kind of push it, it doesn't move, pull it, it doesn't move. Seems to be locked.
About how big around is this tower, roughly?
If you had to guess, probably 25 to 30 feet in diameter.
I want to walk around it, see if I can find any kind of opening
All right. I think the closest thing you find to an opening is up at the top. There seem to be a few breaks in the battlements of sorts, offering somebody at the top of the tower a view down to ground level. The tower itself seems to be immaculately smooth, and you don't see any windows or anything of that sort.
Would I be able to use my claws to climb up?
You could give it a shot. It's going to be a difficult check, I'll tell you that much.
I have 20 feet climbing speed.
Okay, but this is a check to be able to hang on. It's not, can I haul myself up? It's, can I find a place to grab onto?
Oh. Okay, Alright, what do I have to roll?
Let's call this an athletics check.
Eve.
You try and scramble up the side, but your claws don't find anywhere to dig in or latch on to this smooth stone exterior. And you don't get very far before sliding back down.
Is there anything else near this tower? Any other kind of structures or anything?
No, it seems to be pretty much removed from the tree line, about 40 feet or so. And just standing here and looking quite out of place.
I guess I'm just gonna sit in the shadows and wait for something to happen.
Okay. Are you going to retreat to the tree line?
I'll stay hugged against the wall near the door, but maybe about 10 feet off the side, so if anything comes in or out, they don't like immediately see me.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'll re-roll since I tried climbing.
Yeah, go for it. So much worse. Okay. So, let's hop back to Togar and Bungdo. As you
Who's playing?
have... yeah, so as you've been kind of trundling in bear form through the forest, like the word,
Yes.
you reach the tower that you had seen not too long ago. And here it stands, with this strange pearlescent green glow showing off of the smooth stone, and two very much mutilated bodies lying out front.
Can I loot them?
I mean, you can try.
While he's doing that... Oh, go ahead. I'll let you do that.
Okay. So are you bear pawing this, or are you going to go back to Bungdo form?
I'm bear pawing.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of like roll over one of the corpses, and you notice now that the entire front of its torso has been like carved open, like dissection style. And so it rolls, but the front part of the stomach just kind of stays where it was. The remaining organs and viscera kind of just fall out with this nasty, sloppy, wet sound. And you notice that this thing is not wearing much other than... Actually, it's probably not wearing anything, come to think of it.
Right. Well, whatever Togar wants to do, and then I guess move on.
What's
I'm
Togar
going-
doing?
to. Do I see a door?
You do see a door. It's at the top of a short staircase.
How far away?
Well, are you like with Bungdo as he's pawing through the corpses?
Yeah,
or-
I'm staying next to Bungo for sure.
All right. Probably like 10 feet.
All right, Mage Hand. I'm going to check it for traps, and then if it is, see if it's locked and trapped.
Okay. So are you checking with Mage Hand, like running around the exterior of it, kind
Basically,
of dragging
yeah.
a finger?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah,
Poking
because
at
Mage
it.
Hand gets blown up, big fucking deal.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so you kind of like trace the outline of the door,
Yep.
give it a
Finger in
few
the
like
lock.
pokes and prods. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't move, and there don't seem to be any traps around. At least nothing seems to have reacted to your stimulus. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Is it locked?
yeah, so you try and push with the Mage Hand. It doesn't move.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Try and pull. It doesn't move. Seems locked.
All right. Last thing, can I pick it? So I would like to stealthily pick it.
Okay. Make a stealth check. Okay.
Oh, lost sight of him.
Yeah, I was gonna say for the mysterious Tabaxi watching off to the side. As far as you know, the dwarf is still with the bear, but yeah. So Togar, you creep up, and I imagine you're kind of like already pulling out your thieves' tools as you realize, there's no lock.
Wait. What?
There doesn't seem to be a keyhole or a visible lock. The door isn't reacting to anything you do to open it.
Huh.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's perplexing. I guess I will step out and kind of. I'm gonna kind of step out. Where's Bungdo in relation to me?
I'm picturing him like rolling over the other corpse.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's like 10 feet behind you, just down the steps.
All right. Well, I will head back to Bungdo and
Just
just
playing
kind
with
of
dead people.
hide in the shadows to the right of the stairs, like as I'm facing Bungdo.
Okay. Chance, go ahead and roll. Actually, just call it. High or low?
Hi.
Okay. So yeah, Togar, you sneak off to the right side of the stairs, and you press your back to the wall, and yeah, you're there.
Cool.
For those of you paying attention, we have one rogue on either side of the steps, hiding.
Does Bungdo notice this?
I'm keeping my eye on Bungdo, but I'm staying in the shadows.
Assumedly, so is silent.
So, I'm gonna make a perception check for the bear.
Bungdo the bear.
Or, well, actually, no. It's a perception check for Bungdo because you keep your mentals, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
However, if the perception checks relies on smell, then it is by the bear.
But that's with advantage, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's still your mentals, just with advantage.
Just a basic perception check, probably then.
Yeah. Just go ahead and make a perception check. Okay. You are pretty damn perceptive. But yeah, as you get done rolling the corpses, you look around and you can't see, well, anyone.
This is silly.
To even
I go,
notice
like,
Togar,
half height
you'd have to
the
get a
steps.
net 20.
I go up the steps and just like paw at the door then.
All right. So yeah, the polar bear lumbers up the steps, and you hear thump, thump.
I'm gonna send Mage Hand up behind him to tap him on the shoulder and point like in the direction of where I am.
All right.
Do I see him now?
Yeah, with the assistance from Mage Hand, I think you're able to find the person who is now trying to be found. Yes.
At least by him.
Right. Okay.
I look at him and then back at the door, and I just kind of cock my head sideways.
I'll lean down and whisper and say, "It's not a door. It's just it doesn't move."
I paw it again.
And I think you do that, and like, yeah, just look at it and it's like, huh, this is interesting. There's no like keyhole or anything there. Yeah. What's Bungo doing?
I guess just sitting down.
Just right in front of the door. Just plop your big furry bear ass down in the steps.
Yep.
All right.
I'll just again stick to the shadows, watch him.
Okay. Yeah, and you do that. And look at the door, look at Togar, look at the door, and then you hear this as the door comes unlatched and swings open. At about the same time, you hear this loud whoosh as the trees behind the tower and around it, and soon your fur are all rustled by the massive gust of wind left in the wake of a flying dragon.
Right.
And as the dragon comes kind of veering back around in your direction, I would like all three of the people currently on the ground to make perception checks.
I got you, fam.
All right.
Notice the drag.
So Bungdo, that's a scary ass dragon. Chance, yeah, that's a scary ass dragon.
That's a silver ass dragon.
Yeah, Togar, you notice it's a silver ass dragon, and it's a silver ass dragon that has two of your friends on its back.
Right. I'm. As soon as I notice that, Mage Hand goes up as high as I can towards it and kind of waves.
What were you saying, Becca?
Did we come from inside the tower?
You did not. You came from the
Okay.
mountains back behind it, basically.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think Norganoth just happened to notice that there was a polar bear sitting down in front of the tower here. And, yeah, decided to swoop around and see what all this commotion's about.
I'm gonna wave Mage Hand and try to get Norganoth's attention.
Okay.
I'm kind of assuming if I look down and see a polar bear, I'm gonna be like, well, I don't think polar bears are native to this, so it's probably
Might be. You don't know that.
Yeah, that's probably reasonable. Brown, were you saying something?
I'm just thinking to myself, shit, first a polar bear, now a dragon.
Okay. Yeah. So, Norganoth lands at like basically taking up the entire space between the tower and the tree line, allowing Lilith and Maya to then kind of disembark in front of the tower and probably begin strolling toward the polar bear, I would imagine.
I don't stroll, I stride.
You stride.
You're a dragon?
I can stride while not being a dragon.
Oh, I thought you were still on a dragon.
No.
No. Maya and Lilith hop down off the dragon and begin to stride toward the front of the tower.
Indeed.
I'm still chilling off in the shadows.
I'm still sitting on the steps.
All right. And I think so. So is Bungo wrapped up, like staring at the dragon that just swooped in?
Yep.
Okay. Um, so I think you hear a voice from behind you, inside the tower, saying, "My, what interesting guests I seem to have."
I whip around and just like look into the room thingy.
Okay. You're looking into a dimly lit, about 25 foot across room. And more specifically, right in front of you is a reasonably young, elven female, pale skin, kind of ratty platinum blonde hair.
What race?
Elf. And she is standing there, and you can see her skin is covered in what look like tattoos. It's sort of runic inscription laid out all over her skin.
Bungo turns back into a gnome.
And by all over her skin, I do mean all over her skin. She is standing there entirely naked. And
As a gnome, I introduce myself. Bungo Fantinga, at your service. What place is this?
okay. She sort of furrows a brow, looks down at you, and says, "Do you not know where you are?"
Not a damn clue.
This kind of smirk appears on her face. She says, "It's not often one travels to the abyss and doesn't even know he's done it. What brings you here?"
Well, I'm not quite sure. We just kind of went the other direction. What did we see before? A devourer?
Yeah.
Well, we saw a devourer in the other direction, so we came this way.
At this point, could I have heard this conversation?
Yeah, I think everybody's heard the conversation at this point.
All right, I'll come up the stairs behind Bungo and I'll say, we were coming to fight Caius.
She tilts her head, says, "Interesting. I thought he had perished some centuries ago."
Apparently not. And at this point, I'll wheel around and say, where's Trogdor? To, like, Maya and Lilith.
Well, Caius killed him and sucked his soul into him, and then, damn, I can never remember the dragon's name.
Norganoth.
Yeah, I don't even know how to spell that. That's not like I can write it down. And then Norganov slew Caius, but there was, a blue flame. And so we're not sure if Caius is dead, but Trogdor turned to ash. And that skull we saw is also ash. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said Caius is dead, at least for now.
He at least did not have a corporeal body.
Okay.
Oh, I was saying, damn it, push to talk. I think the elven woman chimes in and says, "It sounds like you've been quite busy.
You
You
can
need-
say that again.
Do you need a place to rest?"
I look back at the group. Probably, yeah.
She kind of looks around, taking in the group. Says, "I don't know that I'll be able to fit that one in here," gesturing back toward the dragon. And well, my abode here is a bit more humble than it might appear from the outside. But at least a roof over your heads would provide some semblance of comfort, yes?
I want to insight check her intentions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bungo just goes along with it.
I'd make a perception check to tell if I can figure out if it's an elven woman. Because I can't actually see her yet.
I mean, I don't think it's as easy to do as like, oh, well, it sounds like this, so it must be an elf.
Okay.
Not all pointy-eared people sound the same.
Just like sometimes you can't tell people by people's voice if they're a guy or a girl.
All right. So yeah, I think Maya with that 16, you. I think you gather some sort of sinister vibes from her in the sense of, I mean, she's living ostensibly by herself in the woods in what she has now told you is the abyss. There's something to be said for that. But best you can tell, it doesn't seem like she has any at least directly ill intentions toward you.
Okay.
So I don't know, healthy, fearful respect, I guess is what you're feeling.
Okay. So,
And yeah, Togar, I think you're just like, I mean, well, it's better than living out in the woods.
What
Yeah.
language do they speak in the Abyss? Abyssal?
Yeah.
You know, I think just because now that she mentioned that we are in the abyss, I'm gonna pop this.
Okay.
I want to see if I perceive her reactions towards the mention of Caius and his possible demise, of if she was friendly towards his cause or not.
Okay. So like another insight check, I think is probably called for here. Go ahead and do that.
Okay.
She seemed genuinely surprised to hear the name Caius.
Okay. I couldn't tell if she, was happy or sad or cared at all.
I think with the 19, you'd be able to gather that, yeah, I mean, it caught her off guard hearing even a mention of Caius's name. So, even if she is, I guess, naturally sympathetic to his cause, you glean that she probably was not in any way directly affiliated.
Okay. Good to know.
Am I pinging anything?
Yeah, just getting to that. So I think, let's see, magic within 30 feet of you. So,
I want to use my action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object. Yeah. So, I want to do the additional part too.
He's blinded by the light.
okay. So yes, there is magic around you. Getting into the details of things, I would say that, let's see. You're picking up signatures from the tower, from the woman in front of you, from something just out of view, seemingly at the top of this tower. From any magical items that your party might possess. And from a point about 10 feet away, around the corner, around the side of this tower. So in what order would you like to investigate that stuff?
I want to do her first.
Okay. So I think immediately you pick up an abjuration vibe from her, as though maybe she's got some sort of defensive spell cast on herself.
Okay.
Beyond that, I think there's a lingering hint of necromantic energy just around her and around this whole place. Not speaking specifically for the tower, but the place bears this kind of aura.
Okay.
Ooh, spooky.
There were 2 zombies out front.
This is
But
true.
I'm not detecting any, like, disguise self or anything like that.
No?
Alright. I'll look at the rest of the group and I'm just gonna say, I'm okay with it.
Bungdo wholeheartedly agrees.
I will cautiously agree.
I'll look back to the elfin lady and I'll say, do you happen to have, some... shit, what was it? Some charcoal, incense, or herbs?
we're already to that point of borrowing a cup of sugar, huh?
Yep. I will gladly pay for them. I just, I seem to have, proverbially been caught with my pants down here, and, I don't have any ingredients to any spells.
All right. Well, I think the first thing she says is, "Well, no worry about your pants. I seem to be without mine as well, but
You know, with the
I
body
certainly
art,
have a store."
I was just gonna say with the body art, I almost couldn't tell. It actually looks great.
All right.
Bungdo rolls his eyes.
Okay. And she says, "Yes, I do have a store of spell components and such. I assume that's what this is for.
Yes.
Yes, I think I have some supplies that would do perfectly for you."
Perfect. All right.
Okay.
I'll step inside.
All right.
I want to make a coughing sound like I'm interrupting, and ask if I can come in too.
What am I detecting from that voice that just talked? So I would like to trigger that. I was waiting to see
Okay.
what would happen.
Let's see.
I would
think-
probably. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of what I would call illusion magic. I guess is the figure now standing out visible, or are you just kind of remaining a disembodied voice for now?
I poke like half my body around the corner.
All right, so you see a black tabaxi wearing a hood, a dark cloak, and some very fine-looking boots. Or, well, you probably don't see boots yet, but you can tell that he's wearing boots and that they are in fact magical.
All right.
Both the cloak and the boots seem to be emanating some sort of illusion magic aura.
Okay.
Ooh.
I want to jump into a fighting stance.
Okay.
I'm going to just cross my arms and will the dagger into my hand and be kind of concealing it underneath my arm. just being ready.
Okay.
Because I can see he's kind of built for as a sneaky guy. You know, I'm a sneaky guy. I know a sneaky guy.
I just have my hands open and up a little bit, like shoulder to chin height, and just say, not here to fight.
What are you here to do?
Look for some shelter. I've been here for a few days.
Where do you come from?
Ashton.
Do I know where that is, DM?
You said, wait, you said Ashton
I don't think you do.
or Ashton?
What plane is that on?
The material plane.
Are you part cat?
I do. I wish I could glare, but I'm too busy watching him. And I say, no, he's Taxi.
That's one of those cat people, right?
I do a little slow turn so you can see my tail poking out the back.
I don't suppose you have any skooma?
Not right now.
I think the elven woman in the doorway says, "Oh, someone's a fan of the Lusty Argonian Maid series." We have
Christ.
some similar tastes, you and I.
I wink.
Oh no. She's making his bread rise.
Boy. I'll just look over and all I detected was just the boots and the cloak, right? From him.
I believe so. Brown, am I missing anything?
That's everything.
Can I check to see if he's telling the truth?
Yeah, make an insight check. And I guess, Brown, if you'd like to whisper me a roll for whatever it is you're doing, you could do that.
I guess it would be that.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I think it seems believable enough. Like, yeah, Maya, you don't know where this Ashton place is, but you have gathered from your brief time out here in the open that the Abyss doesn't seem like a very hospitable place, especially outdoors. And so, at the very least, the story adds up.
Okay. I want to ask him, how did you get here?
On a bit of a mission, the person who needed things to be taken care of opened up a portal, and I went in.
I'm assuming you don't want to tell us the details of your mission.
Just checking in on an old friend. For
Your old friend or your...
this person who hired me. A noble from town of Perrin.
Was he kind of a creepy type?
How exactly?
Just a little sketchy. A little too sketchy.
I deal with lots of sketchy people. You're gonna have to be more specific.
In Thieves' Cant, Is that a verbal language?
In a sense, basically, you're able to talk around the point in such a way that people who speak thieves can't are able to pick up what you're saying.
I think of it as kind of like really advanced innuendo.
Yeah.
All right, on thieves can't. I will say Blackwell.
I will respond in Thieves Can't, yes.
And I think at this point, you hear a creak as the door slams shut.
What? Wait.
She understood.
In thieves can't. I will say. Were you trying to kill her?
Yeah, I need to.
Christ.
Why?
The plot thickens.
That was just the mission I was given. I don't know all the details.
Good enough for me. I'll turn back and say, "Yeah, guys, he's okay." Let's move down the road a little bit here.
I raise my eyebrows. Well, just one of them.
And at this point, there is a flash of light that appears kind of up near the top of the tower. And you hear the same voice that was speaking to you from just inside the doorway saying, "You certainly are sloppy for, what, an assassin?
What?
I think you would do best to go back to your master, House Cat, and tell him that it'll take more than that to deal with me." As she finishes saying that, a massive hand appears at the top of the tower and begins to careen down towards you in the shape of a fist.
I want to get out of the way.
I think it is time to roll some initiative.
All right.
So let me get everybody on the map.
You couldn't wait until we rested.
Hey, I did it in thieves can't. I was hoping it was
I think she gathered it from when I said it normal about it being a noble from Perrin.
You're probably right about that.
Bungo just sighs.
I like how we have a language we can talk in. The language of innuendos.
And Bungo is still Bear Bungo?
No, I had turned back to Dragon.
Oh, that's right.
But I'm going
That's
back.
right. So should I just bring out the bear?
Yeah.
What's my movement speed on vertical surfaces and water?
If
Does
you're a
it say anything else about, like, your speed is halved or whatever?
No.
Okay. Then I guess your run speed.
Okay.
That's fucking ridiculous. You can run up a 50-foot just straight up a 50-foot wall.
45
Oh, it was a
At
40.
this
Thank
level.
you very much.
at this level.
Could you dash and make it 90?
Just running up the air, like triple
I-
the height of the tower.
I can go to 135. I can dash as a bonus action with a key point.
That's freaking ridiculous.
Run 100 feet up into the air.
So, like, I could run across a lake in a couple minutes.
Jesus.
Indeed.
Yep.
All right. Let me get her.
So about nerfing the monks.
I could run fast too, just not up walls.
I mean, up most walls, kind of. Just not as
Yeah.
fast.
I'm not fast, and I don't run up walls very well.
But you have magic.
Yeah, I have magic, but I'm a dwarf.
But I don't have magic. I may be magical, but I don't have magic.
Behold, new tokens.
Kaboom.
Yes.
That nat 20.
Oh boy.
Ta-da.
Come on, don't roll like shit.
I don't have an initiative button for the polar bear.
You know what? I'm going to use Bundos, and we'll say your first action is to wild shape.
Alright.
Isn't it a bonus action for him?
Yeah.
Sorry, you get the idea. Your first turn, you wild shape.
Da. So I guess I'll just roll initiative. Oh, it is the bear. Barely did it in time.
Let me get Lilith and Morgana.
Norganoth is still a dragon. Can I move myself? Because I was talking to Togar. So I think I was like here.
Sure. Yeah, get situated how you're gonna
Like
do it.
I'm curious, her casting Bigby's hand and sending it towards us, is that kind of a surprise round?
It's the action that starts initiative. So like she's gonna do her thing, and then initiative's going to start at the top.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, because I can't be surprised.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
think any of us are pretty surprised when she slammed the door in our faces.
And kind of the same as Bungdo. I think Norganoth is, well, he was, as you were having that conversation, he went back to a more manageable form. He may end up popping right back out of it, but we shall see.
There's just a pile of Drago's loot on the ground. Or is it still in his mouth as Dragonborn form? He's like a hamster.
Probably not that. Ew.
It shrunk with him.
All right. So, there's the hand. Let me grab the description for that. Okay. This command. All right. Yeah. So it comes flying down, clenched fist form toward Chance. Chance. Let's see. Spell attack. Here we go.
Does Bigby's hand get opportunity attacks if you move away?
You don't
You
know.
don't know. Stereo.
Guess we will find out.
Just you. Everyone else knows.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Could always disengage with your bonus action.
I want to hide.
That's an action.
No.
It
No,
is an
fuck you.
action.
Okay. What's your AC?
It is 16.
Okay, so you are just barely able to dodge out of the way as this big hand punches down and makes like a good foot deep indentation on the ground.
Oh shit.
And now, Chance, it is your turn.
Alright, I want to use my feline agility. It doesn't take an action or anything like that. And double my movement speed for the turn.
Okay.
And I want to run into the trees.
Into the trees. Okay, cool.
Can I still see her from here?
Yeah, there's probably a degree of cover involved here, especially with her having the high perspective here. But
Alright.
you can see.
Alright, I want to use a bonus action to hide.
Okay. Okay.
And then.
You can stop whispering now, by the way.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
Sketchy.
Sketchy
Kill
ass
him.
motherfucker. Yep.
It was a 31.
Getting ready to come kill you.
Indeed.
Alright, and then pull out my short bow. And I want to take a shot at her.
Okay.
Not with the trigger. Yeah, it is with advantage.
Why is it? Is it
Damn.
because she can't? Well, she might be able to see you. You don't know.
I rolled a 20 regardless.
For 6 piercing.
You did. This is true. Okay. Do you have any feats or anything that modify this, like sharpshooter or what have you?
I did not.
Okay. All right. Well, luckily, that really doesn't matter. So you fire, and the arrow kind of whizzes through the gap in the battlements, and you see it kind of dig into her shoulder, kind of arcs over and just catches her.
Was I hidden?
You were.
Eee.
Okay. All right.
And that's it. I'll stay out in the trees.
Gotcha. You do notice that the arrow seems to do a bit less damage than you would expect it to do.
Alright.
All right. Togar.
So is it like are there windows over on the side of the hut or
So first of all, it's not a hut; it's a tower. So it's quite tall. It's 30 feet, and there are no visible windows. The closest thing to a window is these gaps in the battlements at the very top that she just kind of peeked over as she was, giving her villain monologue and attempting to smash Chance with Bigby's hand. Which,
Gotcha.
by the way, I should put down a marker for.
Master Hand from Super Smash Brothers.
essentially. I'm just gonna look at the hand and think of my mage hand, and I'm just gonna yell up and say, "Hey, we're not with him. Can you teach me how to do that?" And then I'm just gonna kind of back the fuck up
Okay.
and just kind of get back with the group and just show that I'm not armed.
All right. Make a persuasion check.
All right.
Duly noted.
That's not that
Anything else?
bad. Nope. I don't think I can do. No, I don't think I can do anything else.
Okay.
So.
Did she make a...
She did make it, and she rolled well above what she needed to roll. But thanks for keeping me honest.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So then, if that's it for Togar, Bungo the bear, what you doing?
Well, not much I can do. Is that like an ethereal hand or corporeal? Corporeal.
It is like semi-translucent, but you can definitely see that it can do physical stuff, like punch foot deep craters in the ground.
I go over here and I poke it.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
like
and
figuring out what it is.
okay. So yeah, you poke at it, and it does seem to have like a physical presence to it. It's not like entirely solid, and I think there's some give to it that suggests maybe a particularly strong creature. Actually, what's a bear's strength stat? Let's see, 20. Okay. A slightly stronger creature than a bear could muscle its way into this thing's space, even if it was trying not to be walked through. In this current state, though, you think you might be able to just stroll right through it, even though it would feel a bit gelatinous almost. It'd be like it would be kind of difficult to traverse. Okay, there is a polar bear standing inside of the hand that is hovering, still kind of recoiling from striking the ground in its fist shape. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
I just picture a polar bear floating like it's in the water, but in the hand.
All right. Which brings us to Lysana's turn. And she's got some stuff to do. I think the first thing she does is... well, first she's going to recoil the hand fully and send it careening over toward Chance. Hold on. So yeah, you did hit her, so you revealed your location. And so it goes flying over towards you. And
Go away.
makes an attack roll. What was your AC? 16?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just barely going to hit.
Alright.
How unbearable.
Indeed. Let's roll some damage.
And it one-shots me.
You take 10 points of force damage.
Alright, I'm looking through evasion and all that stuff.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. There is a thing you can do.
There is a thing you can do.
Should I tell him what it is?
Yeah, I think that's only fair.
Alright. You can uncanny dodge in this situation. And it halves the damage.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I would like to do that.
Evasion is only good against dex saves, and it's just auto half damage, but if you succeed, you take no damage. So.
True. So yeah, you take 5 points of damage then. And she is going to be doing some other stuff. So I'm going to need Chance to make a Constitution save.
Aww. 3.
Oof. Okay. So seemingly out of nowhere, a perfect circle appears on the floor of the forest out near you, and this black energy begins to seep up through it like this thick black smoke, and it swirls and swirls around before a flash of purplish light just erupts out, casting like this beam of light and energy just straight up out of the ground, catching Chance squarely for 29 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, Christ.
Is it 29?
Yeah.
That's probably. Could he uncanny dodge that one
No.
if he had not already
No.
used it? Okay.
Because that's necrotic. It uncanny dodges for, like, physical attacks.
Yeah, this is attacks damage against you, but it takes a reaction, so I can't do it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I scream something out as like a free action?
Sure. What are you screaming?
If you guys want to get out of here, help me.
Couldn't have been a good elf.
Interesting.
What?
Okay. And I think almost in response to that, the elven woman at the top of the tower shouts down to Togar and says, "Yes, I'll teach you my ways if you just help me get rid of this pest."
Ooh, necromancy.
And now it is Maya's turn.
Oh, great. Oh.
I love it.
I hate you. Maya wants to mimic Togar's actions. Like, say, like, be non-aggressive and ask, why is he trying to kill, like, why is someone trying to kill you?
Okay. Let's see. I mean, like, short conversations are free actions, I think. So, yeah. Anything else?
Just, I guess kind of help with Togar's please don't attack us kind of thing.
Okay. Fair enough. I wish we could text Laura and say, hey, what would your Warlock of the Raven Queen do if you were faced with a necromancer who didn't yet want to kill you?
I think she's on Discord. Let me see.
Just she's here.
Yeah. Because this is kind of pivotal, I think.
Like, we know for sure she's like a necromancer? Because we just saw zombies out front.
This is true. You don't have concrete evidence that those were her zombies. They could have been the cat person zombies.
Yeah. What do you want me to ask you? Ask her.
Gosh, I don't know if I want to hold up the game for long enough to formulate this.
Face just a mysterious elven mage in a tower in the abyss.
Totally normal situation.
Is attacking an assassin you just met. All that you know is that they were dead. How
I did mention helping a noble from Perrin.
There is that. So many layers to this conundrum. I love it.
The plot thickens. I don't know. I think we should help the pretty elf lady.
Is this Phil or Bungdo or both?
Bungdo. As Phil, it's only logical to kill the necromancer. But, you know, Bungdo doesn't think that way.
Togar wants to learn that fucking mage hand.
Rolls new character has to roll another one.
I mean, this is the downside of playing an assassin. Like, if you fuck up your job,
okay.
just ask Liam from Critical Role.
How many characters did he go through?
I
Go ahead, Becca.
Portrayal?
okay. So I've sent it to her, but it doesn't say she's on, so I don't know when she'll respond. So
She disappeared since you started typing it.
yeah.
Damn. Well, you guys want to take a quick break? Maybe give her time to respond, and we'll pick it
Try
up from
calling
there.
her.
It sounds like Pete wants to go outside.